Our Blue Jays reporter Scott Mitchell joining us now. Well, Scott, Toronto kicks off a stretch of 5 straight series against sub-500 teams, but they dropped 2 of 3 to Cleveland. So what are you expecting here over the next couple of weeks?
Well, that's exactly it. This was supposed to be a get-right situation in the schedule for the Blue Jays, and it's still a very soft schedule. When you look at the next 4 opponents, a combined .362 winning percentage, really some of the worst baseball teams in the business right now, and didn't start on the right foot in terms of obviously dropping 2 of 3 to the Guardians, but those injuries you mentioned, that's the real issue. So Bichette, the quad tightness, Davis Schneider said that's kind of been nagging him for a while, and he was asked if that's connected to the knee issue. He said he didn't really know. He is day-to-day at this point, but that's obviously a huge loss if he does miss any time. And Matt Chapman is going to go for an MRI on that finger. He pinched that between a weight and the weight rack earlier this month, so that's obviously a bad sign that is still nagging him as well. And then quietly, a bigger loss potentially is that of Eric Swanson. He went on the IL this morning, so that's a huge cog from their bullpen down now. And you look at this schedule, and it just got a little bit harder. And you talk about that previous winning percentage. The Nationals, who come in here tomorrow, are actually 16-8 in their last 24 games, so playing some pretty good baseball. So a real key stretch for the Blue Jays before heading into September, when it's a real tough portion of their schedule, the exact opposite of what's coming up.
Adversity just staring this team in the face at every angle. Meanwhile, another big day, though, for Davis Schneider. He goes 5 for 7 over the weekend and now has 5 home runs in just 11 games in the majors, but he didn't get an at-bat for 4 straight games last week. Scott, why hasn't he been in the lineup more?
Yeah, I keep getting this question on social media too, and look, he's clearly earning at-bats and he's going to force his way into the lineup, but what the Blue Jays tried to do is they're trying to pick their spots and put him in advantageous situations with his skill set. Now, coming up, he was the number 33 prospect in the entire system on my top 50 prospects list coming into the season. He would have moved up a whole lot if he doesn't graduate, but the issue with him in the minor leagues was swing and miss on the high fastball, and you kind of did see that kind of crop up after his hot series in Boston. So they've tried to keep him away from velocity, high fastballs. You saw on Friday night, Tanner Bybee, he's that type of guy, and then you see him in the lineup yesterday against Logan Allen, a left-hander, so he can take some walks, he's got some pop, but they want to put him in spots where the pitching doesn't really overwhelm him, and they've kind of picked and choose their spots wisely up to this point, but clearly with this offense struggling to score runs at times, he's pushing his way into the lineup for sure.
Yeah, and now with some injuries, we may be seeing more and more of Davis Schneider. He's our Blue Jays reporter, Scott Mitchell. Now, this is not good either for the Toronto Blue Jays. In terms, we know they've had trouble scoring runs with runners in scoring position all season, and this is part and parcel to that. At home, in extra inning games this season, they dropped to 3-6, and even this afternoon, they had a couple of chances to win this game with a runner in scoring position, and they just couldn't get it done.